Let us attempt this question. 3 to the power x squared over 9 to the power x is equal to 81. So how do we solve this question? Firstly, we put it like this. 3 to the power x squared over 3 squared to the power x is equal to 81. What have we done? We replaced 9 with 3 squared. Since 3 squared, which is equal to 3 times 3, gives us 9. So having done this, we should know this law of indices, which states that if we have a raised to the power x, but being multiplied or raised to the power n, this means that the powers are going to multiply a to the power x times n, which eventually gives us a to the power xn. So if we apply the same principle here, 3 to the power x squared over 3 to the power 2x, we got 2x after we multiplied 2 times x, and this is still equal to 81. Now we should also remember this law of indices, which states that if we have a to the power x being divided by a to the power n, this is equal to a to the power x minus n. And if we do have a to the power x multiplying a to the power n, this is equal to a to the power x plus n. We can apply this law of indices on this second law to prove it. A to the power n will be written as a to the power x multiplying 1 over a to the power n, and this is equal to a to the power x multiplying a to the power minus n. And if we multiply, and if we consider this law, this means our powers are going to add. So it's a to the power x plus minus n, which of course gives us a to the power x minus n, confirming this law of indices. So if we apply this law of indices to our situation here, it means we are going to get 3 to the power x squared minus 2x is equal to 81. This will then be 3 to the power x squared minus 2x is equal to 3 to the power 4. 81 is equal to 3 to the power 4 because 3 times 3 it's 9, and 3 times 3 is also 9. 9 times 9 giving us 81. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So here we get 9, multiplying, here we also get 9. And we should also know another law of indices, which tells us that a to the power x equal to a to the power b. X will be equal to b, provided that the base is the same. And the base in this generalization is a. So a to the x is equal to a to the b. It means the powers are going to equate. Applying this principle to our situation gives us x squared minus 2x is equal to 4. The powers are equating because the base is the same. And x squared minus 2x, then we bring 4 to the left hand side, it becomes minus 4, is equal to 0. This is a quadratic equation because the highest power of the unknown is 2. And for a quadratic equation, we mainly have three methods to solve quadratic equations. We have the simpler method, which is the method of factorization. We have the method of completing the square. Then we have the method of using the quadratic formula. So let us start and attempt to factorize this quadratic equation using the method of factorization. We first note that our quadratic equation is written in the generalized way, which is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. In simpler terms, in order for factorization to work, we should make sure that we first write the term with x squared. Then we write the term with x. Then we write just a number. So this progression is very important. And after checking for that, we see that our quadratic equation is written correctly. We multiply the first term and the last term. X squared times minus 4, it's minus 4x squared. Now what we need to do is we need to find factors such that if we multiply the two terms, we should get minus 4x squared. But if we add the two terms, we should get minus 2x. So we should get minus 2x. So if we look at the factors of 4, right, we have 1, 2, and 4. These are the numbers which divide into 4 without leaving a remainder. We do not have a combination of these factors, which will give us minus 2x if we add them. These factors, they multiply 4 times 1, so it's 4x times x. It gives us minus 4x squared, and 2 times 2 also gives us 4. But to satisfy the second requirement, that these factors must be able to add or subtract to give us this middle term, we cannot satisfy that with factorization. This means that this solution, we are going nowhere. So rather, we are going to use the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula states that x is equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of the determinant, which is b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So a is equal to 1 because a is the square, a is the coefficient of x squared. Maybe before we indicate what a is equal to, let us put down the generalized expression of a quadratic equation. Ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. And our equation here, it's x squared minus 2x minus 4 is equal to 0. So in order for us to determine what is a, b, and c, a is equal to the coefficient of x squared, which is 1. B is equal to minus 2 because b is the coefficient of x, and c is equal to minus 4 because c is just the constant. Now, having identified and assigned a, b, and c, we now have to substitute into the quadratic formula. This means that x is equal to minus 2 because here it's minus b and b is minus 2. That's why we said minus 2 plus or minus the square root of, what is b? B is minus 2, and because here we have b squared, it becomes minus 2 squared minus 4, multiplying what is a? A is 1 and c is minus 4 over 2 times a, which is 2 times 1. Let us simplify here. A negative multiplying a negative gives a positive. So here it's 2 plus or minus the square root of, the square of a negative number is positive. So minus 2 squared is 4 minus 4 times 1, it's minus 4. Minus 4 times minus 4, it's equal to 16. Since it's a negative multiplying a negative, so here becomes plus 16 over 2 times 1, it's 2. So simplifying further, x is equal to 2 plus or minus the square root of 20 over 2. But we can further break this down. We will say x is equal to 2 plus or minus, instead of the square root of 20, let us replace 20 with 4 times 5 over 2. This is equal to 2 plus or minus the square root of 4 times the square root of 5. And what we applied here were surds, which state that the square root of ab is the same as the square root of a times the square root of b. And here it's over 2. This is then equal to 2 plus or minus the square root of 4, it's 2 times the square root of 5, so it becomes 2 root 5 over 2. Now we should understand this property of addition and subtraction of fractions. Let us say we have 4 minus 2 over 2. The first method to solve this will be to subtract in the numerator 4 minus 2, that is 2, and 2 dividing 2 will give us 1. But another method to deal with this is to factor in 2 into 4, we get 2, and into 2, we get 1. Because it's subtraction and also this applies to addition, we are factoring in the denominator into both terms in the numerator. So 2 minus 1 also becomes 1, and the answers are the same for both method 1 and method 2. We are going to apply this principle here. 2 into 2, it's 1. 2 into 2, it's 1, and 2 into 2, it's 1. This means that x is equal to 1 plus or minus the square root of 5. And if we are to break down this value, x becomes equal to 1 plus the square root of 5, or 1 minus the square root of 5. This is our final answer. This means that if we come here, and you can confirm this on your calculator, 3 to the power 1 plus the square root of 5 squared over 9 to the power 1 plus the square root of 5 squared will surely give us 81. In like manner, 3 to the power 1 minus the square root of 5 squared dividing 9 to the power, here it's not squared, it's wrong substitution here. So dividing 9 to the power 1 minus the square root of 5, it is also going to give us 81. So our x is equal to 1 plus or minus the square root of 5. You need to know the how, you have to follow the video.